Okay, I'm hoping this is going to be a quick message. So, Spirit has been nudging me for a while to watch the movie Constantine, and so I did last night. And I'm so glad that I did, because I've always had this theory that if you have really strong mental health, you can overcome pretty much anything in this spiritual journey. And you can continue to go through all of these rebirths, the more you can kind of be confident and firm in your mental health journey. And the thing that like Constantine said that like really stuck out to me was that God and the devil had placed a bet on like who could get more people to, you know, heaven or hell, but they can't ever step in. Like there's rules in place and there's boundaries, and they can't step in. All they can do is influence. All they can do is whisper in your ear or whisper in your mind and encourage you to do the thing, whatever the thing is. And so the more strong we are in who we like, the stronger sense of self that we have, and the more tools we have in relation to like our mental health, the better off that we are going to be throughout our mental health journey. I'm sorry, throughout our spiritual journey. Obviously, also your mental health journey. There's these 2 yellow birds in my yard, and it's giving childhood best friend vibes. So, hi. But it's kind of just giving this energy of like, I feel like the message ultimately is, if you're struggling in your spiritual journey, then maybe 144 on the timer. This is for my chosen ones, perhaps. If you're struggling on this spiritual journey, maybe like coming out of the 5D a little bit and then coming back into the 3D and really just grounding yourself in the 3D a little bit, not completely, but just to manage your mental health. Because like mental health isn't like you can't battle all mental health things with spiritual stuff. Like, yes, kind of, sort of, but like the way I view it is like you can't build a house with just one specialty and one tool. Okay, like a carpenter itself has a bunch of tools, but you can't build a house with just a carpenter. Where you need like a plumber, you need an electrician, you need a roofer. I don't know. You probably need a lot more people. But like you need all of these different specialties, and even within those specialties, you need multiple tools, okay? And so kind of looking at this journey from that perspective. And what I would say that these other specialties and other tools are is like, yes, your spiritual health is so incredibly important and helpful, but also your 3D mental health, because there's like a chemical, like there's chemicals that are actually happening within your body that like, you know, don't necessarily always translate to spirituality, and having multiple tools to help with your mental health, or shifting your spiritual journey to a like more 3D mental health journey, like just shifting that lens, because it's like same but different, you know what I mean? Because I know so many people that are like, oh, this is the one way that I deal with my mental health, or this is the one avenue where some people deal with their mental health just by taking care of their physical body. And that's not wrong, but that's only going to get you so far by like working out 333 on the timer. Like working out and like the way you eat and stuff like that, that's only going to help you go so far in your mental health journey. And then as far as like, you know, more traditional mental health things like talk therapy and journaling, that's only going to take you so far. Having multiple tools in each of the sectors is so incredibly helpful, and it kind of gives you that extra little boost, the more tools that you have, because not all tools are going to work for every single situation. Not all tools are going to work every single time. There are mental health tools that I used to use that quite honestly wouldn't have much of an effect for me nowadays. You know, like talk therapy. I highly encourage people to, you know, use a more traditional talk therapy. I also know the limitations, but my talk therapy, it helped me so much. But then I plateaued because there was only so much talking that I can do, and so much self-reflection, and so much of this, that there was just things that I just needed to do for myself. And with that being said, sometimes being mindful of who you're around, 444 on the timer, protecting your energy, because obviously we talked about the physical, you know, you got to take care of your body, you got to work out, you got to eat healthy. that actually does affect you. And I'm not saying like work out like intense, just go for a walk. Going for a walk lowers cortisol levels. But remembering that the people that we are around also affect our mental health. There are people that we can be around that drain us. There are people that we can be around that are just kind of not in a good place themselves, and that energy is contagious, or they latch onto you and they take from you energetically. Then there's also like more like, you know, people that like treat you poorly and whatever. But then also, I think something that really, really, really helped me on my journey is realizing I'm not just introverted because I prefer to be alone. I am introverted because people pull on my energy a lot, because I have very potent, bright energy, and that's great. And I love to share my energy, but within reason and when I have enough to share. I had so many friends and acquaintances that I thought were my people that were mostly just taking energy from me. They were very much energy vampires, or they were like very negative people and like just sending negativity my way, or just bringing negative vibes into my spaces. And so just remembering that like sometimes, you know, you gotta like protect your energy by declining plans. Like that's another way of like managing your mental health and managing the amount of influence, external influence, because again, according to Constantine, they can only influence you to move one way or the other. And so knowing who you are, knowing what you want out of life, knowing where you want to go, and then living that in every single moment is going to get you where you want to go. 7:17 on the timer. So whatever that means for other people, I hope this helps.